Hello English learners, this is Chelsea with Let's Talk. Today, let's break down reported speech for questions. Now, we already went over reported speech for statements. We use it when we're telling someone else what someone said. So, when we make reported speech, there's a bunch of things about the sentence we have to change. So maybe you remember some of these. We will have to change, first of all, the tense of the verb. Remember, we're going one into the past. We might have to change pronouns. I'll give you an example of that. We might have to change any words of time and place. And we might have to change this or these demonstratives. Now, when we are reporting a question, there's one more thing we have to add to this list of things to change. We need to change it to statement word order. So, just like embedded questions, we're not going to use question word order, we'll use statement word order. So, let's go over some examples here. Okay. The surgeon asked, "Why are you awake?" All right, so here I've got a verb I'll need to change and a pronoun I'll need to change. So if I'm telling you about this, I'll say the surgeon asked me why I was awake. So our verb went from present to past, are to was, and the pronoun went from you to I. Because now if I'm telling you about it, I can't say you, I'm talking about myself. So I'll use I, why I was awake. So we have our question word, subject, and verb. All right, question word, subject, verb. It is not question word order. Let's do some more. My mom asked, does it need stitches now? All right, so this is one of those words of time I was talking about here. So, my mom asked him, but all of a sudden, we don't have a question word here. This is a closed question, not an information question. So, what should we use? What should we put at the beginning of this reported speech? Any ideas? If you think back to embedded questions, we can use if or whether for these yes/no questions. So I'll add that in. Asked him whether it. All right, now we've got present simple here, does need. So we'll change that to past simple. Whether it needed stitches. And I can't say now, because that isn't now. At the time, it was now. So instead, I'll use then. Talking about sometime in the past. So my mom asked him whether it needed stitches then. All right, a couple more. Let's see. The doctor asked, him, let's see, how did this injury occur? All right, so a few things we'll have to change here. The doctor asked him, first our question word, how? Then our subject, we have this injury. But right now I'm not looking at this injury, so I need to use that. How that injury. Now we've got past simple, did occur. We gotta go one in the past from past simple, which brings us to past perfect. So the doctor asked him how that injury had occurred. Past perfect from our past simple. Okay, and last one. I asked, how soon will I be able to walk? So for this one, we've got future tense with will. So for reported speech, we'll use would. I asked how soon I would be able to walk. And obviously we're dropping the quotation marks and there's no comma anymore. All right, something a little different. If you are reporting on a request or a command, things will be a little different. So a request, someone's asking you. So the doctor asked, could you take a deep breath? All right, so could is our polite request modal here. So when we report on this request, we're not going to use the modal, we're going to use an infinitive. The doctor asked, and we will need to use if or whether. The doctor asked, then we need to know who he asked, me. Then we'll do an infinitive. The doctor asked me to take a deep breath. Asked me to take a deep breath. So we won't do the if or whether for this one. We'll just do the infinitive. He asked me to take a deep breath. If we're reporting a command, we can also use an infinitive, but instead of asked, we'll change it up a little bit. So imagine your doctor said, avoid sweet foods. This is not a request, this is a command. You'd better do this. So, reporting this, I can say, the specialist told me, then our infinitive, to avoid sweet foods. Instead of told, we could also use said or ordered. So I could say the specialist said to avoid sweet foods. Note that with said, we don't have that person as an object of who they said it to, all right? Just the specialist said to avoid sweet foods or ordered me. With that one, we will have the object to avoid sweet foods. So infinitives for both these requests and commands, but with the request, we'll keep that verb asked. For commands, we'll change it to tell, say, or order. Now, to make a negative form of one of these, let's see, I'll keep one of them. We're going to put the not after the person it's being told to. So, the doctor asked me not to take a deep breath. So a little strange, but to make that negative, we'll go between that object of who is being told and the infinitive. All right, guys, that's all I've got for you. In the comments, why don't you tell me what someone asked you? This is Chelsea reminding you it's not nerdy being wordy. Let's talk again soon.